Hola YouTube, my name is Ricardo Lino and I'm a wheel addict. On today's episode of the Skate Talks 3, we're gonna be talking with a German who lives in California and owner of a few inline skating brands. So we can say he's one of the most important persons in the inline skating industry. We're gonna be talking with Andy Wegener, and Andy owns brands like Razors, Remedies, Ground Control, Jug, maybe. Well, we'll see what's really happening with Andy Wegener. So let's just call Andy and see how this goes. Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. Oh, brother?
I'm good too. I was just trying to make this intro. I'm still like really amateur with this. I never know what to say. Like that's when I really see that I'm not a natural English talking person.
Not my native language either.
Anyway, let's start with this, Andy. Can you please just tell us who Andy Wegener is?
Oh, I'm Andy Wegener. I'm the owner of Sunshine Distribution. We make razor blades and ground control. I partner with REMZ, Jug. Oh, we have some other cool stuff in the works too.
And you are German, right?
Yeah, originally. And then I moved to San Diego probably 25 years ago. And the first 5 years I went back and forth. That was kind of stressful. And then I decided I move everything to the over here to California.
Okay, so when you first moved to California, did you add Razors already, or you started Razors? Razor was the first brand that you started, right?
Yeah, no, actually, I had my first thing was actually windsurfing, and then and that it evolved into like a clothing company because my hardware was really good, so everybody wanted to buy the. Then one day I decided to make T-shirts, and then all of a sudden the T-shirts got the best-selling item, and then from then on it turned into like a clothing company. It was we made sweatshirts, shorts, pants, and all kinds of stuff. Hats, backpacks. And eventually it turned when snowboarding came up. It was like in the late 80s. We decided to make a snowboarding line, though that took off too. And that was actually the reason I wanted to move to California. I wanted to distribute the clothing line there.
What was the name of the brand?
Yeah, it was Sunshine. It was called Sunshine, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and weren't you like a pro windsurfer or something like that?
No, I was never pro, but I was really good, and it was my passion.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like I started when I probably was 16, and it's kind of like the same thing what people do in skating now. Like when at that time, windsurfing was new and fresh. You did that 24/7. You didn't do. That's all you talked about. That's all you did. Anywhere you went, it was just about windsurfing. All your friends were surfers. And then of course you needed wind and waves too. You always had to go to like exotic places. One of the best places was of course Hawaii. And then the cool thing was anytime you went there, you met people, and that was way before the internet. But still, the people knew you. Who you were, and a lot of times you knew them. Oh, this is you, man! It's so cool to meet you. So it's basically the same thing, but what rollerbladers experience these days.
Yeah.
And that's for me, it's basically the same mentality. And it's windsurfing was same before snowboarding. It's an action sport just like blading. It's kind of like anti-corporate. You want to do. It's about individuality. You want to do your own thing. It's not necessarily about competing. It's just like mastering those obstacles. For me, it was mastering those massive waves. Because once you get washed in a 5-meter wave, that's tough stuff. But so for me,
I know exactly what that is. I used to bodyboard a lot, but since I moved to South Africa, I'm scared of sharks. So another question: did you never went to Portugal? Because there's a lot of German windsurfers that every now and then they go to Portugal.
I know. You know what? It's on my bucket list.
Yeah.
I'll come there one day. I've been to Tarifa in Spain, So that was the closest probably to Portugal.
Yeah, but there's no waves in there. You gotta go to Guincho.
Huh?
You gotta go to Guincho Beach. That's known for windsurfing. There's like big waves and wind and all that. Okay, so we keep going. I did knew about the windsurfing, but some of the people, like most of the people listening to this, they have no idea. So what I did, like before having this conversation with you, I did post something on my Facebook, and I said I was going to do it, and I had some people making some questions. And one of the first questions that people made, and it's good so that we can get the listeners to listen to this right away. So what's happening with the new Razor skate? When is it
shipping?
Is it shipping? So the name of it is Shift, right?
Yep.
And what else can you tell us about that skate?
Well, it's kind of like, actually, it's a mix between the SL and the Colt. So what it does, it has the shape of the Colt, so it's a lot tighter. So you have a really tight fit, and basically, actually, you have a lot more control over the skate. Because this SL was a little bit wide, you were kind of moving a little bit. Also, the instep is was a little bit higher. So now it's a really super tight fit, and you can control it super well.
Okay.
The other thing is, and another feature is, you can exchange frames in 15 seconds.
Yeah, that's something that I heard about like about 2 years ago. That was like when I first.
I'm working on it for a long time.
Yeah, but so the thing, and I remember that when the SL first came out, the first thing about the SL was how slim the sole plate was and how much we could feel when we would grind. Is it also really slim, the sole plate on the new skate?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, basically what the SL was, the secret was that we eliminated the bottom of the boot. So basically you were standing directly on the sole frame, and that's why you felt the ground so much better.
I remember
that was that was a lot of people or everybody said, "Oh my God, this is so good! This is the best skate ever," you know. And so the new skate has the same thing. There's actually like a tiny layer, but it's just 2 millimeter. You don't notice it, you know. But you're still super close to the ground, so you don't notice a difference between the SL.
And how does it work that you change the frame in 15 seconds? How many screws does that have?
Well, it doesn't have screws. But actually, let's say we did put 2 screws in just for safety, but you don't need them. We had a photo production and in our film production in France a couple of weeks ago, and they were skating hard like for a whole week, and only one guy had a problem. At one time, it popped up when he jumped off a ledge, and the ledge was sticking out, and on the way up, he hit it, and then the frame fell off. Okay. But other than that, but nobody else had a problem, so you don't need it, you know. But for safety reasons, we put 2 screws in, so you still have to take those screws out, so it takes another.
So it's something like a sliding mechanism or something like that. Yeah. Slide and lock.
You know what? The way it works is, are you familiar with the SL skate?
Yes, I do.
You know what? It has those tongue and grooves, and it has sliders on the outside. Also with tongue and grooves, and the sole frame and the sliders are secured with T-nuts. Okay. And there's a lot of T-nuts. And then one time I told one of my riders, actually was Quinny, I told him, "Hey, Quinny, can you take out the screws on the inside? Because I want to see if the tongue and grooves are enough to hold the skate." Yeah, I said, "Okay, sure, no problem, I do that." So
I did heard about that. You know what? I did heard about how impressed Queenie was with the skate in a conversation with a USD skater. He said how impressed he was with the skate. So I didn't know about it. That's cool. That's really cool. Yeah, so I'm really excited to see it. And what about the liner? What liner are you going to use in it?
It's the same liner as the SL3 actually. That was a really good liner.
Okay, but it's not a jug liner anymore, right?
No, it's a razor liner for now.
Yeah, but is there any differences for the people listening to this? Is there a big difference between the jug liners and the razors liners, or?
You know what? They are. They're pretty similar. To be honest with you, we don't have big plans for a jug anymore. We have other plans.
Okay. That's
some
good.
exciting.
You want to talk
news.
about them, or you can't talk about them yet?
It's a little bit too early.
Okay.
It will be. Yeah, no, I don't want to talk about it. It'll be a surprise.
Okay.
But it's coming along really well. I got the first prototype, and it looks amazing. Okay, it's like a lasted. It's not just sewn. It's lasted like a shoe. It's built around a shoe, so it looks like a shoe. Like from the shape of it. So it fits a lot better. Very snug. Very slim. But that's not gonna be in the new skate yet.
Okay. I was talking with Ollie Bennett on the last one of these skate talks that we did, and we were talking how unfair was for you guys, racers, of the way that the first picture came out, because people ended up seeing a picture that wasn't. I'm pretty sure that's not what you wanted to show of the skate. Basically, it wasn't the best picture. We all know it. So the question is. Yeah, I know, like someone just revealed it. The question is, when are you guys going to reveal the first pictures of the skate, or the first video, or are you going to make the announcement of the skate?
Probably in 5-6 weeks.
Okay. Do you have a plan for the announcement of the skate, or
well, like I said, we've already filmed and edited. So once we are getting closer, then we'll drop it.
Okay. So the thing is, there's like different ways of doing this marketing thing. We both know it, which is some brands like Velo, as an example, the pro skaters have the skates, and when the skate come out, all the pro skaters already have it. And I know that Razors has been doing that. So the question is, do the pro skaters already have the skates right now? Are they skating them already like top secret, or?
No, only the ones that did the tour in France, and we wanted to give them to the other riders too, but then the production got delayed.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's good. It's not good that inline skating is not that big, but with inline skating not being that big, it's easier to hide a product, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
So one of the questions that we had in here was from Kali. I don't know if you know Kali. Is from Barcelona. He does work with Power Slider, does some designing thing, but he made a question which quite make sense. So he was asking, what do you think is the most powerful when it comes to a brand? Is it the marketing or really the product?
You know what? Let's say it this way: it's when the kids are younger. It's definitely the marketing, but on the other hand, let's say it's this way: you can sell a shitty product even if it's good marketing.
Yeah, I know that, but then the thing is, like with inline skating, like right now, most of the inline skaters we all know they're older, so it might be a problem.
No, let's say it this way: it's if you have you need both. If you have the best product and no marketing, you still don't sell it.
Yeah, but do you think that's related to the time that we are right now, like the state of inline skating, or?
No, it's always like that. It's always been like that, and it always will be. Because people at the end of the day, they look up they always look up to the best riders. And even though sometimes it's just on a local level, but they always look up what the best local rider has.
I remember that. I remember that 2 years ago. No, a little bit more, like 3 or 4 years ago, when I stayed at your place. Thank you so much for that. when I stayed at your place about 4 years ago, you told me that the plan that you had for marketing back then was to have like the best skater from each city where skating was big, or at least big enough to have the best skater using razor skates. And I ended up seeing that you had a lot of people skating with razor skates, which is really good. But in the end, my question is, are we selling skates with that? Because at the moment, I don't know, like in South Africa, I've been working a lot with trying to get more people into skating. I know some places in Europe, in some places we have enough skaters, but a lot of places, it kind of feels like there's more people getting free skates than...
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you're totally right. The problem is because the numbers drop so much, so it doesn't make sense. If you only have 3 or 4 riders in a city, then give them a free skate that doesn't pay off.
Yeah.
And these days, in blading, blading is a little bit different because a lot of the stuff is online, you know. So if you produce good online content, then that's pretty much the marketing you need, you know. But you still have to produce content, or your writers have to film and show that, you know.
Yeah, of course. And
so you still see that you're irrelevant, you know, and that the writers can do amazing stuff.
I know that Razors, I think it was the first. Razors was the first brand to make a YouTube channel, or at least to be strong at it. And I remember that since the beginning. Do you guys even had a Vimeo channel or a Vimeo profile, or you always stayed with?
Yeah, we did have, but eventually most people watch YouTube these days, you know. Vimeo, the main reason was because in some countries they are very strict with music rights, especially Germany, and they could not see any of our YouTube content, which was probably one of the reasons why we were never strong in Germany, because nobody saw what we did, you know.
Mm-hmm. But now but that's also like a problem with most of the skaters, and I work with that on the daily basis. I know what that is. Most of the skaters, they do not understand that they can't use music which they don't own the copyrights. It's like people keep complaining, but the truth is, if I'm filming myself skating, I film it. I don't want anyone else to use my clips without my permission. So it's kind of like the same with the music. People that makes music, they want to get something out of it. So now it's slowly getting there. So
yeah, no, but it's still, you know, I mean, you get ways around it. You know, you can get copyright free music, but it's a lot of times it's not the same, you know.
Of course, it's not. You won't get the exact same music or the hate that you're watching on TV and all that.
And music just is a big part of it, you know. Like if you just look at it this way, you know, sometimes you see the most amazing skating, but then the music is kind of slow. You know, it kind of makes you fall asleep, you know. But then you have to see something with super upbeat music, then you get all hyped too, you know.
I know what you mean. And I have another question out of that. So I saw Razors. I think it was mostly Razors. I never saw that happening with Ground Control. Probably happened a little bit too, but I saw like in the past, Razors went from like, I don't know if I can say this word, but went from like rock and roll to gangster to different styles. You know, does that make sense? What I'm saying?
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't care about music. I just care about making good skates.
Okay.
And honestly, so I didn't really knew for a long time that the kid said it's so important.
It's not. I don't think it's that important. I was like, somehow it happened, you know. Like there was in Ego, it was completely gangster.
Yeah. No, basically what happened is, you know, I kind of like in the early days, you know, it was Shima, Elliot, and they were in rock and roll, you know. And then we got Murder and Dre, and so then they were in hip hop, you know. And then eventually it was kind of, at that time it was balanced, let's say this way, you know. But then Shima started his own company, Nim, and Elliot too, you know. So then basically the rock and roll side was gone, you know. And then Julian came in, and then it totally turned into hip hop, you know. But the thing is, I didn't monitor that.
Yeah, it wasn't controlled. I get it.
Yeah, I don't monitor the pants, the width of the pants. You know, I didn't know that's a, you know. I just thought my job was to make good skates, you know, and not watch the pant size of your riders, you know. I did eventually learn that, you know, and then no, damn crap, this is going in the wrong direction. I don't want to be pushed in a corner, you know. Then I made sure that we got more rock and rollers into it, you know.
No, but I'm not saying that as like, I'm not judging. I'm no one to judge. I went from baggy to skinny to don't care. Basically, I think that's what I am right now. I just don't care. But I think
I never cared. You know? So for me, it's really never an issue. You know, I thought my job was to make skates.
Yeah, I think you did good. Seriously. And one more question. So I do know, like, when the last time when I was in when I was in California. It wasn't the last time, but it was the last time I did saw you. You told me that back then there was no more Razor's House. Can you explain us a little bit what the Razor's House was and what happened in there?
Basically, you know what, honestly, the idea was that I wanted the guys in California, you know, in the capital, especially North County, San Diego is the capital of skateboarding, you know. And the idea is we have great skate parks, great public skate parks and everything, and a great, the YMCA is a super popular park. Mm-hmm. And the idea was, you know, like if my guys go to the skate parks on a regular basis, eventually, you know, they were all great guys, you know, Aragon, Dre, and whatever, you know.
They were the best.
And they are really, really good with kids too. But the idea is, if they are there on a regular basis, they will turn little skateboarders around. It's like it's happening. You know, people will see what they're doing. They see they travel the world. They're pros. They're living in a great house. They do that for a living. You know, chances are that they will turn some people around. You know, and if that happens, you know, we might be able to change the way people think. You know, and a lot of times when my neighbor, for instance, is Buck Elastic. You know, when I
know that.
You know, they all respect each other, you know. They have no problem with them because they're all great guys, you know. They actually, the guys were allowed to skate his pool, and they respected them, you know. So the idea is, hey, maybe we can break the ice, you know. And if that happens, then maybe we can get plates into some of the skate shops locally, you know. And then if we're able to get the skates in a skate shop, in a hardcore skate shop in Encinitas, or in Carlsbad or anywhere, you know, any skate, the ice is broken, and no skate shop around the world has an excuse not to carry rollerblades. Problem is, they never went to the skate parks.
And I remember that. You told me that.
They were too busy partying.
But right now, so now that...
we still had a good time, you know, and the house was all... I don't regret it. You know, I had a blast. I loved it. Anytime I went over there, it was the best times, you know. It was just super chill, you know, and honestly, it was like it was like a sacred place, you know. We only where you always met the best riders in the world, and it was just such a cool vibe. It was awesome. Yeah.
Basically, you allowed this group of people who were some of the best skaters in the world to really live the dream, huh?
Yep, it was awesome. You know, anybody there probably will confirm that that was the shit, you know.
I do know that one of my best friends, seriously, my best friend is from Portugal. His name is Samuel Dias. He used to skate for Razors, and he was actually invited more than once to go to the Razors House when you guys were filming for the last video, something the children, right? I don't remember the name. I'm sorry. The last video that the amateur video, the last one that you guys did. It was
that's a long time.
Yeah, it was like 4 years ago, something like that. But the
Children of the Future?
Yeah, that's it. Children of the Future, that thing. That's it. Around 4 years ago, maybe 5. Yeah, but not right now. I don't think any brand is making like full videos. Valo is. I think Valo is coming with Valo 6. Anyway, now that leads me to my next question. I know that you still have the house, but somehow also when I was back in California the last time, again around 4 years ago, we were speaking about how the inline skating industry was back then, and not like sadly, not happy about it, like seriously sadly went a little bit more down than it was. Now I think somehow in some places in the world is going up, but the truth is, if you wouldn't invest on other things, you couldn't have razors and ground control and all that. I do know that you're really, really successful with scooters. And I also know, and some people might judge me for saying this, I know some people on the inline skating industry, they don't really appreciate it. But I do respect what you do, and I do know what you're doing with that. But can you explain us a little bit how you got into scooters, and if you would put like a percentage, like on how much time you spend on scooters nowadays, and how much you spend on inline skates, would it be 50-50, 40, 60 or anything like that. Can you explain us a little bit about the scooter project?
Was the scooters, here's the thing is, because like you said, rollerblading was declining a lot, and when the big eye opener was in 2010. So basically, the economy came out of the recession from 2008, after so we were declining all the time, But then in 2010, the general economy came out recession, was actually really good, but our sales still dropped 10%. I said, damn, this is not good, So we are, everybody else is doing good, so it's not recession related. So it is, we have a major problem. Well, and the problem is we have no new kids coming in, and then all the older guys, they get families, they get jobs, they don't have that much time and money to spend on skates, and then that's why it was declining. So I had to decide, man, I need to do something else, because otherwise I will eventually go out of business if that keeps going, And then I thought, man, what could we do, And I've been in Australia before, and they kept telling me, man, you need to get into scooters. It's booming, And a lot of the retailers that carry blades got into scooters too. And they said, you know what, it's actually interesting, and I probably could do well there, Yeah, and then that's how scootering basically started. It still took me a while, and only now we're really starting to get serious traction.
But you did like the first scooter shoe brand, ELYTS, and they did really good right from the beginning, right?
But then we still had we didn't have the right riders. There was some issues. The riders didn't reach out to the other core riders. They kind of kept to themselves. So it never really reached the full market where it should be. I have other plans. I'm starting a new shoe company with core riders now, and that will blow up. That'll be an instant success. Kind of like with Rain back in the day. When everybody had those. Anyway, but. So scootering now, it's a little bit more than half of our business. The advantage is we have tons of kids coming into the market every year. The disadvantage is most of them quit once they turn 15, 16. So it's exactly the opposite problem what we have in blading. In blading, we don't have new kids coming in, and everybody's getting older. And in scootering, we have tons of new kids coming in, but they all move on and they're 15, 16.
I get a little bit frustrated, and I have to say, I get frustrated because it's the same. I think it's the same everywhere in the world right now. It's not just, we don't have that many new inline skaters coming in, but the thing is, as soon as the new kids find out about sex and they have their first girlfriend, they end up giving up everything they do. I think like they're giving up the scooters probably. Yeah. It's part of that. But you said it's a little...
they're getting cars and they get girls, they have other priorities,
Yeah.
It's kind of normal. And even in blading or in skateboarding, once you turn 20, you have to move out of your house, because then you don't have as much discretionary money to spend, So you have to, you cannot buy every new skate anymore. And you don't get a $300 gift every Christmas, from your parents.
Of course. And I ended up realizing since I moved to South Africa too, at least compared to Europe. In Europe, if I would ever need to go to hospital, or if I would fall, basically, if I would need a surgery or anything else, I would just go to the hospital, and the government helps me with that. If I don't have money, that doesn't mean that I'm not gonna get the surgery that I need. In fact, I broke my leg in Germany about, I don't know, 12, 14, 15 years ago, I don't even know. And I got like a surgery in Munich. But since I moved to South Africa, I've been realizing it's completely different here. And I know in the States, it's kind of like the same, which is if I break my leg, if I don't have money for the surgery, they won't make it. If you don't have an insurance. So that might be a big role of, might be one, like a big, an important reason for people to somehow.
I think, you know what? I think that thinking kicks in when you're older.
Yeah.
Get more responsible. When you have a job, you don't want to jeopardize that you'll be out for 2 or 3 weeks, because you might even lose that job. But when you're young, in your 20s, you don't think about that. At least you care about health insurance. You think you're invincible.
Okay.
So
that
it,
might make sense.
but
I didn't know about it, seriously. I never even experienced that, but since I moved here, I start feeling it. So I thought that could even be a barrier. I don't know, something that could.
it definitely is. I'm sure it is. And I talk to people, and said, I can't afford to get hurt, But not necessarily, even if they have health insurance, but because they are afraid they can't do their job anymore.
Yeah, that makes completely sense.
That's more responsible.
On another question, back on skates, and then probably I'll get back to scooters. I'll be jumping scooters and skates and whatever. So the last time I was in California, you told me that the skate that used to sell the most was Brian skates. So Aragon skates used to sell like no other skate would, because it was an Euro. Did you felt like the numbers going down since Aragon left?
You know what the thing is? There's actually two things. The numbers in general are going down for everybody, and we talk to retailers too, when they said no, you still have the same market share as before. But when it comes to pro skates, the thing is the only successful pro skates are the ones if you have a superstar, somebody that everybody says has no doubt. Oh, he is beyond everything. Like Shima, Happy, and then Aragon, of course. Anytime I made a skate for somebody who was not on that level, that skate did way worse. Then it actually was better. I do a generic team skate like a SL or something, because those skates actually sell just as well as a top pro skate.
Yep. So
Maybe
there's no plans for
say,
any pro skate anytime soon.
I find another Aragon.
Well, you have that French kid, which I don't know, Nicolas. I don't know how to say.
I have a lot of good French riders. That's what
but the one that I'm saying, and you lost Roman. I have to say, like Roman was freaking amazing, and he still is.
He was a little bit on the park side, so we'd like to have, and a little bit competitive. He was honest. To be honest with you, he was even in France. He was not fully respected.
Yeah, I'm not saying that. Yeah, I get what you said. He's seriously amazing, and right now it's slowly starting. Like people are starting to respect what he does, and
he is an amazing skater, and I wish him all the best and everything, But then it was his decision to leave, and that's okay,
I somehow understand, like being an European and having like the base, the brand base close to him, it's a lot easier to work with the brand, and probably that's why Razor's always worked really good with American riders. I do not know, but
you know what the thing is? Look at it this way. I was just about to say that. The problem is that there is not much interaction between the countries, especially in Europe, If you live in Portugal, you don't really care what's going on in Germany. Same thing is the other way around. You don't care. If I grew up in Germany, I didn't even care what's going on in Austria, and they speak the same language. Same in America. No, how it is. You don't know anything what's going on in their neighboring country, in that scene, because you're so focused on local. Same here in San Diego now. We live 30 minutes from the Mexican border. We don't know anything what's going on skating-wise or even scootering-wise in Mexico.
But now with the internet, didn't that change?
Huh?
Didn't that change with the internet?
Not that. Maybe a little bit if something is absolutely amazing, but still, all your friends and everything is mostly is local, and you interact with the national guys. For some, and it's a different language. All the message boards or whatever. Because of course, there's an international aspect too. But the problem is the difference is everybody looks up to the United States, but they don't look, and sometimes they don't want to look what's going on in the neighboring countries.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, and it's frustrating for me sometimes. I'm not saying I have a lot of American friends and a lot of people living in America which aren't Americans, but somehow it's frustrating seeing like countries like Poland or Spain that they have so many skaters, like compared to any other place in the world, they have so many. Even Indonesia, I do know that it's the place, like, Powerslide has around 40,000 subscribers on their YouTube. And if I'm not mistaken, 70% of the viewers are from Indonesia. That just means there's a lot of interest. It's a different type of skating. I'm not talking about aggressive skating, but what I'm trying to say with this is, like, there's so many places where there's so many good skaters, and usually where there's a lot of good skaters, there are usually a lot of really good skaters too. But then it's somehow frustrating that people keep looking at America the whole time. Yes, there are really, really good skaters in America. Brian Aragon is just one of them. And
I know why it is, because I am German. We did not, everybody thinks his hometown is the shit. That's actually the center of the universe. And everything else, because we have this is the best, this is the biggest, and whatever, Everybody else is just whatever, but we are the real shit. That's how everybody thinks. So, and then you have a neighboring country, somebody in France might do good shit, whatever, it doesn't care.
But then why do they look to America like that?
Because America, that's what, it's a culture thing, because that's where you see all the movies, that's most, all the music is American. Even in Germany, the music had to be American. Even German musicians had to sing in English. It's ridiculous, but it's how it is. They even realize that, damn, it has to be American.
Like David Hasselhoff.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he's not even he's not even. People laugh at him about him in the US, but in Germany he's a superstar, Either way, but that's how it is, and they see all the movies from Hollywood, and they think it's the greatest country on earth, They or paradise. It's just like it's a dream. It's not reality, but that's how it's been portrayed, Then you have to.
Yeah, it's the whole media. It's us being influenced by the media.
And you know what? And then, let's say this way: the US, you have a lot more creativity there, because the people there, they don't have a safety net as in Europe. They have nothing to lose. That's why there are a lot more. That's why they open companies, and that takes the risks. They're a lot more risk friendly than the Europeans. In European, if you fail, file bankruptcy, that's you're done. And but in America, there's no problem. And like I said, they have nothing to lose, And of course, you have, especially California, the weather is nice. You can do your sport, especially action sports, can do it year round and stuff,
No.
But anyway, everybody accepts the US. That's okay. That's cool, And anytime you send an American anywhere else, they treat him like a superstar.
It is. I know that. Especially like if he goes to Asia or something like that. In Asia.
No, it's the same thing. Or even same thing if you're from France or from Western Europe and go to Eastern Europe, you're a star. That's how everything is West. So that explains it. But they don't. There's a little bit of jealousy.
Yeah.
They don't.
But going back to one of the first questions, what I asked you about marketing or product, then it's kind of like, I don't know if this makes sense, but that will be saying that the marketing is more important than the product when it comes to a skater. See, it's just like the American skater would be more marketable than a better skater because he's from somewhere else. And maybe that's why a lot of brands keep a lot of American riders, even if the American skating market is smaller than in some other countries. I don't know, but
yeah, I would say no. The American market is not. It's still okay. No, it's not okay, but it's still a decent size.
Do you have an idea how many skaters we have in America?
No. Another thing is the big retailers. They ship everywhere around the world. For me, it's hard to tell where exactly.
I get what you're saying.
They sell them to Indonesia. They sell them, ship them to Australia. They have a really good operation. But they got the shipping down. So.
And then you have big brands like K2s and rollerblades selling too, and no one knows about their numbers, so it's kind of hard to track how many skaters you got.
Yeah, I still don't think that they say their numbers in aggressive are big.
Yeah, I bet no, but like the thing is, that was my next question for you, which is like, skating is changing, and you know it. I know you know it. Like I'm pretty sure you saw Brian Aragon skating with big wheel skates, with 3-wheel skates, like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
What are your plans when it comes to big wheels? Do you have plans?
I love them. I just came back from an hour ride in New York City. Absolutely amazing. Big
Have you been
wheels,
skating them?
I just came back. Like, that's why I was late. And that's the reason I stayed in New York City. New York City or Manhattan is the best city for blading. And then especially the west side, from back all the way from the south to the north, it's like the finest bike
I
path.
know. I used to ride bikes. They're not really skated yet, but
even in the city, it's so cool. That's the thing about blading. And I always say that blading is too much fun for not to come back. And now with those big wheels, so I had 125s. And
wait,
like,
what skates did you add?
my new skate.
No way.
So here's the thing.
Is it a razor skate?
My new. It's what you can do with the aggressive skate with the shift. You can swap the frame, like I said, in 15 seconds, and then you put a 125 millimeter frame on.
What? You have a 125 frame? A 125 frame? You just put it in the same boot.
Yep.
That's
so
crazy.
You only need one skate, one liner, one everything. You just need the extra frame. And actually, what it is, you change the whole sole frame. So the sole frame is always attached to the frame. So that's how you change it so fast, But then I have a second sole frame, like for free skating, you don't need the wings, You don't do that many. You can do that, but
you don't need the soles. Yeah, I know the sole space.
I don't do tricks, I made a slimmer sole frame, which just has the same shape as the boot. It's the perfect free skate. The main advantage actually is because the problem what a lot of manufacturers have, because the boot material is soft and it has to be soft because you want some kind of flex.
Yes.
And then if you mount the sole frame directly on the boot, you have flex. And then, I don't know if you remember the murder skate. The murder skate. It came with grind plates, and the frame was mounted directly onto the skate. But the Genesis, actually that was a Genesis boot, is a massive boot and massive material, But then eventually we changed it. We put a sole frame on the skate, and everybody said, "Oh my God, man, this is so much better. It's so much stiffer, so much more responsive." And that's when I knew when I learned that we need especially for free skating, because everybody was struggling with that, getting the transfer of power down. So now we have the sole frame, that fiberglass with nylon. It doesn't give a bit. It's super stiff. And the power gets distributed over the whole width of the boot. Now you don't, especially with the big frames now, you have so much leverage in the big wheels, You need something strong. And so we basically solves the problem. And you can change it in seconds.
That makes sense. So you have it's kind of like Powerslide has that system, the Trinity, which basically it's like a wider front, and that will make your power of transfer be a lot more. And also when you even for the impact, when you roll, you don't feel vibration on one line. You feel the vibration through all your foot. And it's kind of like the same if you have a stiff sole plate. It doesn't need to be a sole plate, like you said. If it's something stiff underneath the boot, basically the whole vibration is going through your whole foot. And that's also, other than just the power of transfer, also the vibration is spread through your whole foot, which is a good thing. So that's
cool. I'm sure there are several ways to do it,
Those are good news. But now tell me something: is Brian Aragon skating the 125s now? Because he was good on those 3-wheel skates. You need to bring Aragon back.
Yeah, I haven't talked to him for a while. Yeah, I might hit him up. No, but I love 3 wheels. It's just amazing. It's amazing what the difference it makes if you go from 80 millimeter to 110 or 125. And the amazing thing is you don't even. I was always afraid to do a little bit maybe too high. No, it doesn't bother you at all, Or it's totally stable. I was surprised how stable it is. I thought it would be a little bit nervous or so. No, not at all, And actually, I think it's even for turning, it's even more radical, because when you turn, you put the weight on the back of the foot, and then it basically the center wheel works as a pivot point. So the front wheel lifts up a little bit, so you turn on a dime. It's like,
yeah, I like it. It's exactly what I've been saying. And at the same time, the good thing about the 125s, in my opinion, is because you're like taller to the ground, that means that you can lean more without being afraid of the boot touching. Basically, if I want to slide or if I want to just do a tight turn, I will never be scared of my boot touching on 125s. When I skate on 100s, then it's a different thing. It can happen.
Yeah.
But still, like downhill skaters, they've been like a lot of downhill skaters, they've been talking to me because every time I make a little downhill video, they complain, no, but you're skating 125s, you're going against the rules. It's kind of like what they say, but I don't think there's rules. No, that they say like I should use like 5 times 90, and I understand what they say, which is if I use 590, when I slide, there's more wheels touching the floor, which gives me more control. But then what I keep saying is, yes, but then I'm lower to the ground. Yes, more control, but then easier for the boot to touch. And if the boot touches, then I'm down. So it's different way of seeing it, you know. I don't know if you get what I'm saying. It's just like a different way of looking at it.
If I follow their logic, you know, the bottom line is if you have bigger wheels, you have they turn less, so you have less friction. It's just like that. So that's why you have bigger wheels, like in mountain bikes. They have those 26 wheels now, you know. Same thing, you know. It's and you can tell the bigger the wheels, the faster it is.
Yeah, but at the same time, the truth is, if I have a 90 millimeter wheel or a 125, there's more surface of the same wheel touching because the radius is bigger. So yes, I do not have the same traction on 3 125s than on 590, but at the same time, I have more than if I would use 390s.
Honestly, I have enough traction. I have all the traction I need. I never, for a second, thought I don't have enough traction. I could see for speed, maybe if you have 5 wheels, you know, it's probably possibly a little bit more stable. But you know, you definitely have a lot more friction. You know, I don't say I'm not buying it that it's faster.
And one question: what wheels are you going to use? Is it ground control wheels?
Yeah. It's going to be ground control wheels, yeah.
Okay, I saw that ground control. Basically, I saw this week, and I think they're sold out already. I saw that ground control as a 72 millimeter wheel with no hub. Is that it? Is it kind of like the Go blading wheel, the Project blading wheel?
You know, honestly, I don't even know. I don't know if it's.
If it was, I think it was a 72 90.
I'm not sure if it was a 72 millimeter, but either way, you know, the ground control wheels are really good, and they're a good value.
Yeah.
And,
do you have any more sizes coming out? Is it? I know that you have.
Yeah. Hang on a second. Hello. I'm still at the hotel. They probably want to kick me out. Yeah. Anyway, what was the question?
So I know that you have. I think it's 60s, 64s, 72s. With what other wheels are you going to?
Yeah, we're gonna have 64 will come back, 66, 72. One of them we have 80, 110, 125s.
Are you gonna have 110s too? So is that 3-wheel frame also coming in 110?
Yep.
Is the 110 also with a sole plate, kind of like the rounded free skate, or more like a grinding one? Do you have an idea?
No, it's you can put them on both. You can put you can put them on the aggressive sole frame or on the free skate sole frame.
Oh, so basically, okay.
All our new skate, even the fitness skate or the free skate, is UFS.
Okay, so I get what you're saying. Basically, what makes you change the plate? It's the whole sole plate, right? So when you change the frame, you can keep the same frame that you already have. The only thing that you'll change is the sole plate. Is that it?
Yep. Yeah, and the sole frames are actually really cheap. They only make $25 or $30.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, and now I see that the guys at the hotel, they want to kick you out. Huh? I have 2 questions. I
have 2 hours. I didn't know.
Any 45-degree strap coming on any of your skates, or you gonna keep it?
Yeah. Basically, we're gonna come out with a free skate, and that'll have like the ratchet.
Okay. Are you gonna have a free skate actually, like a Razor's free skate, or?
Yep.
Okay.
They'll be in about 2.5 months.
Okay.
About a month after the shift skate comes out.
Okay, so the shift should be out in 1.5 months, and then the free. Do you have a name for the free skate?
Yeah, it's a Cosmo.
Cosmo? Okay, so the Cosmo will come out in 2.5 months. That's good.
Yep.
Okay, and then the last question is, what can we do to change this industry to make it better? It's a really complex question. I think we're all trying the best, but
yeah, no. Here's the thing: you have to look how it started. Blading got really big when fitness skating was big, and the peak was in 95, 96. It was huge. Everybody tried it. Everybody was on it, you know. And then actually girls started it because it's a really good workout for the girls' butt. And then all the guys got it because it was like a dating thing almost, you know. And you can actually tell, you know. I sometimes go to blading nights, you know. And hey, no, it's the best way to contact with people. At the end of the day, you know, you feel like a big family, you know, like you get to know everybody. It's socially, everybody's super relaxed, you know, you just have a great time, you know. And so that's how blading got big. It just got a bad rep, and then it declined, you know. But at that time, you know, a lot of kids, when they were 10 or 11, they got into blading too, maybe through the parents or whatever, you know. And then those guys, they were all born in 83, you know. And they, at that age, you are the most impressionable. And then they thought, oh, you know, kids get bored after half an hour. You know, they want to do more. They want to jump over stuff, you know. And then they realized, oh, shit, there's aggressive skating. You know, Aro did amazing stuff, and Chris Edwards and stuff, you know. Zenit was there. They already did their whole thing, and it was unique. It was like their own little industry, you know, that did kind of a rebel thing, you know. Anyways, the kids, it was perfect for those kids, you know, that, oh, that's what I want to do, you know. And that's when rollerblading exploded. Mm-hmm. But as fitness declined, so declined rollerblading. So no new kids basically came in, you know. So my thinking is, if fitness skating or free skating comes back to the mainstream, then aggressive will benefit from that just as well.
Yeah, I keep saying the same, which is like, if we have more people skating, there's more people going for free skating, speed skating, aggressive skating. It doesn't really matter. I think we shouldn't focus only on aggressive skating. In the end, it's just skating.
It will only come back if it explodes or if it gets bigger in recreational skating. You know, here's the thing is, you skate, especially with those big frames, you know, it's too much fun not to come back.
Actually, you skate. On the other ones, you walk. On these ones, you skate.
Yeah, no, it's a whole different ballpark, you know. So a friend of mine, Carson, he told me that, you know what, you can't blade without having a smile on your face. And you know what, it's true, you know, especially if the surface is smooth, every stride is pleasure. You have so much fun, you know, and it's especially in cities, you know, you can see everything, you can roll around, and it's just awesome, you know. And the typical 20-year-olds, they don't even know about it, you know. The peak was 20 years ago. They were barely born, you know. So it's only a matter of time until people find out, you know. And if you look in some places in Europe, for instance, Spain, it's still huge, you know. They have. I just did a tour like a couple of months ago, you know, and visiting shops. They have the finest shops there. They look like boutiques. It's unbelievable. In Madrid alone, they have 40 inline skate schools.
I know some of the guys. It's crazy, and they have schools just for slides. They're not schools for slides, but they have classes just for slides and classes just for.
Which is good.
Yeah, of course, it's amazing.
But my bottom line is, if something is fun, it will eventually catch on.
Of course. And the question that I have for you is, do you believe in the cycles? Everyone talks about the cycles, just like skateboarding went through cycles.
I do. I'm a strong believer in that, you know, because I went through that with many sports, with no matter what it is, you know, and I see it in other sports. The problem is, when the sport comes out, you're in, you know, everybody's excited, especially if it's young, you know, you invent tricks. Anybody can copy them fairly, or pick them up fairly fast, or you practice a little bit, but then it gets more and more harder, and eventually it reaches a level. Then beginners will say, "Oh my God, I will never be able to do that."
Yeah, I keep saying the same. I think that sometimes skating went to some. I had this conversation with some people at the Winter Clash, and some people think that I'm crazy when I say that. But the truth is, skating went too much into the do or die thing, and I'm including myself. I used to be the type of skater, if I wouldn't try something that I challenged my life, I wouldn't be happy by the end of the day. But the truth is, these would never bring anyone else new to skating. If I'm about to be a father soon, in 2-3 weeks, I hope. And the thing is, when my baby is born, like whenever she's like 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever, if she wants to do a sport that I see someone trying to kill themselves the whole time, well, if that's what she wants, I'll try to support. But at the same time, it's not really as a parent I would want for my kid. So I think, relating skating to all these health and, of course, a smile in our face. We need to enjoy what we do. Yes, we always need people really challenging themselves. That's good. But like the complete industry going that way, it's not good for a sport somehow. That's my opinion.
That's where you get that. I call it peak sports, because I think it's a typical cycle. It's like 8 years after the beginning is the start. That's when it reaches its peak or the plateau, because it gets so hard. And then from then on, you have less and less people coming in because it's too hard. And then it's steadily declining.
Okay, so as someone who knows about business, because you obviously someone who knows about business, when do you think
I know about industries, because I've been for so many industries.
Yeah, I know, and that's why I'm asking you this question. When do you think skating is supposed to start growing up, and when should we expect, if you could predict something, when do you think that this peak could ever happen again?
You know what? It's hard to predict, but it really comes down to when a free skating or recreational comes back. It might be 3 years, might be 5 years, or 10 years. You don't know. But what I know is it will come back because it's too much fun.
Okay.
And then aggressive will come back too.
Yeah, I'm not even trying. You know what? I think aggressive is like really important for me. But at the same time, when people look at skating, a lot of people don't look at aggressive skating. I want skating to grow, like skating in general. Because like I said before, skating is skating. And like I do know that I will always love this type of skating that we call aggressive skating. But in the end, when I'm like 50 or 60, I still want to skate. Probably I won't be able to flip here or flip there, but I hope that I'm able to still maybe do a marathon back then. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
What I'm doing is that I'm a strong believer in that, It's kind of like, that's why I invested in that, in a new skate, and it's a lot of money,
I know that, like all the molds and all that stuff. But are you going to keep any of the skate? Any of the boot is the same, or is it a complete new boot? The mold is completely new.
No, it's complete new. Okay. Well, the cuff the old cuff still fits. Eventually, we might we'll make another cuff. But it's not exactly necessary, because the current cuff works really well. But anyway, but it's like, for me, the thing is, it's kind of like in the stock market. You invest.
Yeah, of course. But you usually invest if you believe in something. Of course, you invest without knowing what's going to happen, but you need to believe to invest in it. So that's good.
Same as like in stocks. If you like a product really, really much, a lot, or a company, then it might be it's the same bet that the stock will do well, unless it's already totally overvalued, Mm-hmm. But rollerblading is not overvalued, And,
you know what? What do you think of the USD AEON? Have you seen the USD AEON?
What's that? No.
The USD AEON skates, the ones that the USD came out last year with.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. That's a one-piece skate, right?
Yes.
The question is, I'm not sure. Is that here's the thing: you have to either do two things. You either make the boot in the same material as the frame, or the frame is the same material of the boot. What material are they using?
It was mostly the main difference was by using different densities of plastic. So basically, if you use like the same plastic, you're gonna need to play with different densities. That's what's going to give you the flexibility, not just does that make sense for you?
Yeah, no, that's my concern, because I didn't know that you can do that.
Yeah.
My main the other, so that's, if they solved it, that's good, because otherwise, if you use the frame material, the boot would be too hard. If they use the boot material for the frame, the frame would be way too soft.
No, I'm making you this question not even because of a product. I'm making you this question as someone. I don't know if you know, I have a little shop in Cape Town, and since I started this little shop, something that I realized was a problem a lot of times for me was, you know what, sometimes the UFS, I don't think it helped. And this might seem stupid, but the truth is, you have like 10 different frames, 20 different boots, or 10 different boots and 20 different frames. And then each frame comes in 20 different colors and million different sizes. And then in the end, like, there's so much variety. And in a sport which isn't that big, it's hard for a shop to carry everything. So I remember that a few years ago, something that people told me about razors for some people could be a problem was, it's a question, sorry. It's because you were coming with a skate every 3 months and you wouldn't produce the older skate anymore. Then for some shops was hard to sell the older skates if they would get like a little bit bigger stock. So
we always tell people, don't buy more than what you think you can sell in the next 3 months or so,
Mm-hmm.
And and we don't push any orders on anybody,
I know that. There was
shoulder the risk, and the shops can reorder, So it's we are really not pushing anybody to. You don't have an advantage to buy 5 pairs or 10 pairs,
Yeah, but I do know that I did notice that you started, like, you opened like a bigger warehouse in Europe so you could work differently in Europe. I do not know. Is it the same in the States? Can shops order like smaller quantities, and then if they need more, they order from you and you would have stock?
The idea with Europe is so we can service it better. Before, everybody, only the big shops could basically buy from us in Europe,
mm-hmm.
and because we shipped them directly from China, basically, but the small shop couldn't do it because the freight was too expensive. So now with having it's basically my own warehouse, So now having at my own warehouse there, we can service everybody. So it's a huge advantage for Europe now.
Okay, that makes complete sense. Okay, Andy, I think that was it. I'm really happy with the result of this. I hope you're happy too.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
And one other question. Sorry, questions keep coming. Why did you never started anything related to roller skates? Because you like to look at opportunity and all that, and roller skates seem to be blowing in the States, so that's why I'm asking.
I don't want to spread myself too thin.
Okay.
I might do something new if I have the right people.
Mm-hmm. I did saw that John Elliott started something, but apparently that didn't pick up.
Yeah, no, his thing is, I want to do too many things at a time, because you only have so much time,
Yeah, of course. That makes sense.
I'd rather do the things that I know what I'm doing,
That makes sense. Okay.
Right.
It's completely valid. Thank you so much, Andy.
Yeah,
thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me. I'm really excited about your new projects, and I'm pretty sure people listening to this will also be excited about it. Okay. Thank you so much. We'll stay in touch. Thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
And that was it. It seems like there's a lot of cool stuff happening, and Andy just revealed some of the new projects from Sunshine Distribution, including some free skates from Razors and the release date for the new Razor Shift skates. And that was it. I hope you guys enjoyed this skate talk with Andy Wegener. There's more happening with important people for the skating industry. So you know what you need to do. Just subscribe to the channel. There's like a little button underneath this video. If it's red, it means that you're not subscribing yet. If it's gray, you don't need to click it, but there's a bell on the side. If you click that bell, you'll get notifications every time that I upload a video or one of these skate talks. Thank you for listening to this, and see you soon. Thank you.
Vou viver até quando